back out here at the property, and Valentina, like I say, is off for like 4 or 5 days straight, so she's more in the house now, and I'm doing some stuff outside. It's all muddy and been raining and misty, and I'm not really allowed in the house because I have mud all over my shoes. I can go in the house if I take my shoes off, but I don't want to keep doing that back and forth. Anyway, I'll try to get in the house today and show some of what she's doing, and some of the things. We did a couple things yesterday inside the house, so we'll try to show those in a little bit, or today sometime. My retaining wall is not necessarily straight, but this is the bottom row. This part will only be one row, but it's going to be going under steps when they come out, and that's why I've been putting off doing this, because I wanted to get this established. And a couple days ago when it rained, this was all a puddle. It was like a lake right here. So again, 10 feet, 6-inch drop supposed to be. I measured that a long time ago. Hopefully it's somewhere in that vicinity. But today what I'm doing is I'm gonna lay some pipe. So what I did was I have 3-inch pipe that's not made for pressure or anything. So I went to Home Depot and bought a connector. This is leftover pipe from other things. It's been cut already. We've used it for other things, but this is leftover pipe. And what I'm doing is I'm perforating it on my own. Just taking a drill bit and going down and just putting some holes in this thing. So I'm actually surprised that this is not ruining this bit. I didn't know that you can drill PVC with a regular bit. It seems to be doing fine. It's not ruining the bit. Maybe over time it's going to ruin the bit. I don't know. After I do these 2 pipes, it'll be ruined. But so far, it's not ruined. I actually bought a whole new set of drill bits where all my bits are in one location in a plastic container, because I have 2 sets of bits that are partial sets, and I'm always having to pull out both and whatever. And I thought this was actually going to ruin my bits. So I thought, well, I'll just ruin my leftover bits on this, and then I'll have new bits for when I want to do my next projects. But I'm surprised this is actually not, doesn't seem to be ruining it at all. So that's awesome. I'll just have these bits for longer. As I was doing this, I was thinking about it. I don't know how much perforated pipe costs. This kind of hard pipe. I have not bought any. I've looked at it before, but holes are bigger than the ones I made. But the point is, I feel like if I had a whole lot of this, a really long length of this is probably not a good idea. It'd probably take a really long time. This now just probably took me 10 or 15 minutes. I don't know how long. But this is only maybe 12, 15 feet maximum of pipe. And I was just thinking, if I had to do this for a really long stretch, this is not a money saver, or it would just take too much time. Anyway, but it is what it is, this short piece, so it was worth it. I had no idea what I'd ever use this pipe for anyway, so this is a good one. Good use for it. To hold these 2 pieces together, I bought a 3-inch coupling. And I was going to go down and get my glue and everything, and I was like, wait, this isn't under pressure, and it's just a drainage pipe, so who cares? Not a big deal. I did clean it off with a rag a little bit on the ends of the pipe, but honestly, that's all I need. No pressure or anything, who cares? Plus I drilled it full of holes, right? So water's going in and out of all those spots. I just wanted something to hold it together. Okay guys, what I've done is, what I did was I went to Home Depot. I had that little section, but then I bought some 4-inch. I wish they had 3-inch, because then I would have been able to connect that a little bit better. But I'm just gonna slide it in here, 3-inch, no adapter. I don't even know if they make them or not. I'll just slide it in there a little bit. It shouldn't back up too bad. And 25 footer. And I'll lay this out, even it out, and hopefully have a nice drain to get this lake out of here when that happens. Also, what I'm going to do, guys, is I bought this. It's a soil separator. It's made to keep kind of the rock and separate from the dirt, separate from the pipe. So I bought this. This is 150 feet, so not necessary for that much. But I'll cut off maybe, you know, a 40-foot section or 30-foot section. And then this is 3 feet wide, 36 inches. So I'll just wrap this several times around the pipe. And if you want to see me do that before, that's also the same system I used around the bottom of the house when I had to put, that's something you have to do by code, is put a drain system around the base of your foundation. So I did it on that one too. Alright guys, I am soaking wet from sweat and from mist. It's coming down a little bit heavier than it was. I laid this in and then I pulled it all back out again because I didn't like the depth at what I had it at. It wasn't deep enough. So I dug down even further and I like this better. The problem is I need to keep it a little bit higher at that end than this end. That way it keeps flowing, because cinder blocks are flat the best I could, so they're not following the flow of the driveway. So this is not necessarily higher down there than here when it comes to the cinder blocks. So that has to be a little bit higher to get a flow going. I bought some white rock to be decorative to go over the top of this, but I don't want to put it right now. I want to put it after my inspection and everything is kind of done and cleaned up. If I put white rock now, every bit of work we do afterwards is gonna dirty it and get mixed in with it. So what I do have is I have some crusher run over here, and I want to take a few scoops and just kind of lightly put it over that, just to keep it into place and to catch the water from catch dirt from mixing into the pipe. A little bit of a filter. So that'll be my temporary fix for right now. It'll be a little bit, and then later on I'll put the white rock on there. Alright guys, I've completely switched gears. I'm still staying outside though, because Valentina's doing everything inside. I'm not allowed in there basically, because I'm a dirty mess. But she bought some bay leaf trees, and some linden trees, both of which get pretty big. Linden trees get really big. So what I'm going to do is, we've decided we're going to put them along the drive here. They'll interfere with basically nothing, because sun will be coming up over there and it kind of goes like this. So it won't be shading any of our gardens. It won't be shading any of our grass basically, or trees. And it'll just be beautiful coming in this line with trees. We're going to end up interfering with Nick and Brent a little bit right here. But it is what it is, because I've got so many, and they need to be about, let me go ahead and turn this off. They need to be about 20 to 25 feet off of the road, because they can get up to 50 feet wide, the way I understand it. Of course, we'll keep it trimmed back and stuff, and that will take years and years to get to that point. But it's also nice to leave, space between the road if we ever want to widen the road a little bit. And it also leaves space to mow and not interfere with things. So I'm going to walk this off. I'm going to get a general idea if my spacing is right, if I got plenty of room to put trees. So I was thinking to give these trees plenty of space in between, that I need to put it probably about 50 feet between each tree. That way there's room to move in between them. And this is for like really long term. But as I counted off from there to here, I don't have enough room with 50 feet in between each one. So I think I'm going to go shrink it way down to maybe about 35 to 40 feet maybe. When these trees get big, they're going to be like this. I mean, they go wide. they can get pretty wide. So you got to leave plenty of room for them to breathe. But I think putting them at 30 feet apart instead of 50 will be fine. I won't live long enough, unfortunately, to see them probably fully matured. I don't know how long it'll take. But I'm going to look them up one last time to see the exact distance, and then based on whatever I feel comfortable with, then we'll get to work on it. Okay, so linden tree can get 50 to 80 feet tall and spread 30 to 50 feet. So I basically only need about a 25 foot on each tree. That's why I was thinking 50 feet in between, but I may have to shrink that down. So that's a linden tree. They can get really big. Yeah, 50 to 80 feet tall, 30 to 50 feet wide. All right, I did my little research again. Bay leaf trees, they can stay very small if you want them to. They're very, it seems like you can keep them whatever size you want. If you want to just let them go, they're very slow growing. They're going to take a really long time to get big. So this is going to look kind of funny, but Valia likes it. So we're going to do it. Big, tall, big, tall, big, tall. That's what you're going to have. Like a big tree, a small tree, a big tree, a small tree, a big tree. The bay trees say they like lots of sun. They're not going to get a lot of sun because they're going to be between these trees. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, I guess we can always dig them up before they get too big if we wanted to move them around, whatever. And also, we're going to do probably about 30 to 35 feet between each tree so we can squeeze them in here. So that's the plan. All right, I'm going to start digging. Okay, guys, I kind of learned my lesson on those fruit trees. I made those holes so big and caused myself so much work and end up putting mostly virgin soil back into the hole. And I knew I didn't want to ever do that again. These trees, I'm going to do a lot smaller. So this is still probably about 18 inches deep. Something like that. 18, 20 inches. And probably 30 feet wide or so. I don't know. But anyway, I will use the same material that I used before. I have organic peat moss. I have some soils of a bunch of different stuff like mulch mixed with manure and things like that I have way down there at our little nursery thing. And then I have still the organic compost with first round mulch mixed together. So I'll be mixing all three of those things again together to give everything a good start. But I'm not going to make humongous holes like I did last time. All right. I'm going to count off probably about 30, 35 feet and down that direction, and we're doing about 20 to 25 feet off the roads. Go mark my spot and get to work on it. All right, guys, it's a new day. I just wanted to show you these bushes are between us and our neighbor. We ripped all this out, or I did once upon a time. This was all full of garbage and trees and all that stuff, and I wanted our road to go as close to the property line as possible so we have a max amount of property to utilize. But there is this strip here, and we always did plan on having a privacy hedge, but we've been debating for a while what we're going to do. This stuff is coming in right now pretty nicely, and all this is full of this stuff. So after lots of debate between trees and bushes and planting things, we've actually decided we're just going to let this all come back. All the stuff that I've cut out and all that stuff, just let it build back up. It's going to be a variety of things, but it should make a nice thick hedge. And that ends up being free. So we'll let that come up this year. Hopefully it'll grow a foot or two. I think it'll come up pretty nicely. Now all the way down there at the end, there's not a whole lot of this stuff, and we'll debate later on. We may plant some bushes or trees way down there at that end between us and the neighbor. I'm not sure if it's necessary for our privacy hedge down there or not. We'll see. We just don't want them to have to look at all this. All right, we're down here at the other end now. We were just down there. So this is this end where it's mostly grass. There's some bush still mixed in here. I don't think much is growing under this tree. It's keeping some stuff from growing out, but maybe from this marker right here, property marker down, we can let this all kind of grow in. I'll either just leave this as grass or we can plant something at some point. Okay, next thing we're doing here is I am tackling the trees today. By the way, we took yesterday sort of off. It was rainy and wet and stuff the night before. And anyway, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes dug for the trees. This is that old compost and first round mulch that I've had for quite a while that I planted on the fruit trees down there. We have that nursery way down there that I have some compost, like store-bought compost and manure and things like that I had mixed together for planting things like when we started the trees and just started everything out. I'm cleaning that out a little bit. I brought some of it here. It's also got some native soil mixed in it. I'm just going to dump it on here and it'll get mixed in. So we'll have a little bit more variety of nutrients. These holes are a lot smaller than the ones I dug for the fruit trees I told you guys before. This is going to be more nutrient dense for these trees than the fruit trees got. I'm learning as I go what I got going on, how to do things. Alright, something I'm going to do really quick. I'm doing a lot of outside work today. Valentina, like I said, she got 6 days off in a row. She's in the house right now doing stuff. And she'll be in there until she goes back to work. But she's doing things that I'm not doing, so I'm getting some stuff planted out here. We got rocks all over the place, and if we're going to let this stuff all start growing up, I'm out here working outside today, so I'm going to grab some big rocks out of here and move them to some particular location, probably over by the house, so we have a pile of rocks. Every once in a while we need to pull from rocks or we have an idea for them, so get it out of here before all this privacy hedge grows up and buries it. Alright guys, that's how many rocks I got out of that space. Pretty good load. All that stuff's just sitting on top. Diego built a bit of a retaining wall here, and so I don't know if he could use these rocks or if he'd like them, but I'm just going to dump them right here. And he can come up a little bit higher there if he wants, or he can use them as decoration or around the spot here. Alright guys, I'm doing this a little different than I did with the fruit trees. I forgot to bring myself a knife on here. I only have a screwdriver on the tractor. But what I've decided to do is just take one bag of peat moss. Empty it out in here. So this is my thought, is I emptied a bag here in the bucket, and I think I'm just going to do my best to possibly just spread this one bag evenly amongst all these holes. Just put some in the bottom. Like I said, I'm doing a little different than the fruit trees. It's still a lasagna to a point, but probably less peat moss this time. Although what I'll do is because I still got plenty of peat moss, so I'm just going to put what feels like a good amount, and I'll just keep going down through the holes, and if I run out I can just open another bag. But I feel like I haven't done a lot of research on the peat moss. Niana got a super good deal on it when she was working at Home Depot, and it's a really good deal a while ago, so we've been using it here and there. What I'm gathering it does is it helps hold on to water. So that's what I think it does. I think that's a pretty good amount. So I'll just go ahead and keep on going down and doing about the same. All the way down. Alright, that peat moss spread pretty evenly. Worked out pretty good, I felt like. All the different holes. Probably got a few inches in the bottom of each one. And I am still sticking to my lasagna theory of that. I feel like it's a good, works out pretty well. So what I'm going to do now is take this shovel and just go down to each hole and do a few scoops into this and get this covered with native soil. And then I will probably place the plants or the trees on that, and then do my organic compost and first round mulch mixed with the steer manure and all the other stuff that I have mixed in there. Alright, so just a light covering there. I'm going to do that for the rest of all these. I'm actually thinking, since I have so much native soil here, that I may just do a small covering and then put a small amount of this stuff on it, then put the tree on it, then cover with this and some more of that. We'll just see how much lasagna, how many layers I got available, how much room I have. I don't remember burning up this high. I've done all my burn piles more in the middle of the field. You can tell there's a lot of dark stuff in here. At some point there was a burn pile up here. A scoop of this, and I'm going to just go down and do a thin layer. I think that's going to be pretty awesome. Something like that. Doing this lasagna, like I said, a little different than the fruit trees, but I feel like this method paid off because at least half of those fruit trees made it. Half of the trees over there made it anyway. Doing pretty good. I might take you guys on a little tour over there today, show you where we're at on that. Alright guys, these plants, I just transplanted them into these buckets a few days ago, and Val got these maybe a week ago. I believe she ordered them. Well, they came through the mail. I don't remember if they're Amazon or not. So these are linden trees, and they came all kind of wrapped together. There's 3 of them. So hopefully these survive. We're supposed to get rain in a couple of days. So I think this is a good time to be planting this stuff. This does have a bud on it. What I'm going to do is, I do want this up higher. I think that'll work like that. I still have it below ground, below grade more than I want, but I think it should be all right. What I'll do probably is I'm going to go ahead and throw some virgin soil on here right now really quick and just bring it up a little bit. My shovel is way down there, so I'm just going to do this by hand real quick. Alright, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to apologize for my sniffling constantly. Spring is in full bloom. It's really busting here right now. I think this is April 3 or 4 or something like that. And I've been taking my bee pollen and all that stuff, and it's just not helping. I've been taking it for a month. And I'm not saying it's not helping. Maybe it'd be worse, but I am sneezing and sniffling big time. Alright, like I said, we are doing every other spot something different. So we have a bay leaf tree and we have the linden tree. So this is going to be bay leaf tree. And it comes in this little bag. I'm not sure if I can leave it in that bag or not. It would help keep it from falling apart, but I don't want it to struggle either. Bay laurel is the name of this tree. I'm just getting this kind of stable. And then I'll come back with my shovel and go ahead and scoop and fill the rest of this in with the native soil, this pile right here next to them. Bring them back. Fill it back up. All right, guys, so on to my next stage of this. I went around and pushed some dirt in with the tractor, and then I filled things in. And what I'm doing now is, because some of it's just barely, I put the tops of them just barely above grade, I take some more of my organic mixture up there and put a little bit right around the tree itself so that I can see it. It's come in very helpful down here because I had some very minimal little twigs barely sticking above the ground, and now because I marked it with this, I can see exactly where it's at, and it tells me if it's growing or if it didn't make it or not. So I'm just going to take some of this, put it right around the sky. Helps mark it and gives it a little bit more, I guess, a smidgen more nutrients right there around. When it rains, it'll have a little bit kind of go down. There you go. I can see it better. Alright guys, I went and marked all those little plants and stuff. Got a little bit sidetracked. Let me show you guys something. I've shown you this a long time ago, but if you haven't been following the channel for a long time, you wouldn't know. This whole strip here, I cleaned. It took me probably 3 or 4 months. It's full of trees, bushes, shrubbery, vines, everything you can think of, including garbage. I think I got like 1,200 pounds or something of garbage I took to the dump one day. I had this hole. There's a hole here that needs to be filled. It's just kind of when you're mowing and stuff or walking, it's just a big dip in the ground, so I thought I'd start filling it in with dirt. Well, this pile right here, the guy that came in and did the final clearing of my road with the big equipment, he said this hill is full of garbage, and he just piled it there at the side of the road for me. I pick at it once in a while, and I've had intentions of getting through it, but it's just full of stuff. I at one point wanted to have a plan of pulling a little bit out every day on my way home, and I just dump it in the dumpster where I live, but it didn't materialize. Anyway, so what I did is I took two big front loader scoops, dug into that hill, and started pulling stuff out that's garbage, and hopefully for the most part this is clean dirt. I know I'm not perfect, and I know I probably missed some stuff, but over time I want to fill in this little spot with dirt. And I thought, well, I have the truck today or whatever, and maybe we'll have time at the end of the day. This is all the garbage I pulled out of just 2 scoops. So I'll put all that in the back of the truck and throw it at the in the dumpster at home. Over time, hopefully I get through that pile, but there is a lot of stuff. There's still stuff you'll be able to see on the ground here. And someday when I get down to cleaning out this creek area, there's a lot of garbage down there too. So I'm not looking forward to it, but someday I hope to not have the trailer that I have and have a dump trailer so that I can just fill it up and take it to the dump and dump it there and get it all off my property. Right now it's a little bit harder to do. Alright, I have a shovel and a little bit of garbage right here I'm going to pick up. We'll see what we're going to do next.